Avalin and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So today we're building quite a big house for quite a big family as well. This is built on a 40 by 30 in Willow Creek. The video is quite long, by the way, so if longer videos are not really your thing, sorry about that, but I just really felt like sitting down and just completely relaxing while building. I just wanted to completely chill out because I've had a lot of work lately, so I basically just wanted to build something that I was a little bit more comfortable with. This is not for the save file, by the way. It's just a build basically, but like I said before, I've been working quite a lot and I've talked about this before, but building is like my de-stressing mechanism. I just completely lose myself in it and I forget about having to hurry through work and stuff on the side, so I just completely focus on building. And yeah, I just really needed to do that because of a lot of work and just trying to make everything fit into my daily schedule and stuff. So I was building on this house. This is a farmhouse. I've said before lately that I was really in the mood to build a farmhouse. I had kind of imagined it to be a little bit smaller, but I just went a little bit crazy with this one, so it's quite a big one. Sorry about that, but there will be a smaller farmhouse coming up on the channel sometime very soon, and I think it's actually going to be a base game one, because I did ask on my Instagram actually. I asked what kind of style I should build the base game house in, and they could vote for either traditional or farmhouse, and farmhouse won by like a large amount. So the base game house that I've been talking about doing during this month is going to be a farmhouse. Hopefully it'll be up during this week before Monday. Hopefully I'll do my best, but like I said, I've been quite busy on the side, like not like off YouTube. Been a little bit busy with work and everything, and I still have 3 jobs to do before the weekend actually, so I have 2 more days to do that, so that's great. But we're all good, it's all fine. But yeah, today we're building this quite big farmhouse, so I hope you guys will like this house. It is for 2 parents, a teen, 2 kids, and also a toddler, and I made sure to put in stuff for either a cat or a dog, so you could technically have both of them in there, I guess, because it's not, you know, there's a cat scratching tree, and there's also a scratching post, and then the dog has a toy box outside as well. There are no pet beds in this house because I just didn't really feel like they fit into any of the rooms. Like, they just took up a little bit too much space. But while decorating the bedrooms, I was kind of imagining this family to have a bigger dog and then a small spoiled cat. So yeah, I made sure to put in stuff for both a dog and a cat. If you want to play in this house and you don't want to play with pets, you can also remove that. Or if you want to play with just a cat or a dog, you can just remove whatever was meant for the other animals. So yeah, you can definitely do both. There's also laundry in this house. It's kind of in its own dedicated area of one of the hallways though, so if you don't want to play with laundry, I suggest you either turn that area of the house into a bathroom possibly. You could put a lounge area in there as well, or you can turn it into, I don't know, something decorative basically, because it is, you'll see that once we get to the floor plan. I put it by the back door, one of the back doors to, well, the backyard, because there are actually 2 front doors and 2 back doors. So one of the front doors is closer to the garage, as you can see right here, and one of the back doors is kind of like almost, it's very close to the door on the left here, just because it is quite a big house, and it's quite good for gameplay purposes when you got more doors to the house, because it makes it easier for your Sims to move around and also get through the house or enter the house and, you know, all that stuff. So I decided to put 2 front doors and 2 back doors in this house basically. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense to you guys, because I know that when you have like a really big, maybe let's say a 64 by 64, I've actually found it better to have several staircases upstairs and downstairs, so it's easier for your Sims to you know, move around the house like that, because otherwise it'll take them quite a long time to get from one end to the other, because, you know, Sims are a little bit slow when it comes to walking. So yeah, I decided to help them along a little bit by adding some extra doors to the outside. So yeah, hopefully you get what I mean. So for the exterior, I was planning on making this a white house, so like just plain white and then with a little bit of gray brick in there, but I actually decided to add some color on it. So I tried out with I tried out a darker blue wood panel wallpaper first. But I felt like it was a little bit too dark for my liking for this house, so I decided to go with the lighter blue instead. We are using base game wallpapers, by the way. The shingles are from Cats and Dogs, and the bricks are from Get Famous, I think. They're some of my favorite bricks. I use those a lot. I just really like the different swatches, so yes, definitely a big favorite of mine. But it's not often that I use base game wallpaper, so yeah, that's a little bit new for me. Actually, I think I've used this one a couple of times by now, to be honest. I was like, the first time that I used it, I was literally sitting in my chair like, are you seriously using base game wallpaper? What's going on? Because I've hated that wallpaper for so long, but I'm okay with it now. So the other wood panel wallpaper that we're using, or siding, should I call it siding instead? I don't really know. It's from Cats and Dogs, and it's gray, so I was kind of going for white, gray, and then a light blue for this house. And then we're spicing it up with a few flowers here and there. The landscaping is mainly going to be green and then white, and then there are just these tiny pink flowers, and that's the only color in the landscaping as far as I remember, because the rest of the flowers should be white. So it's these little irises that are from Romantic Garden Stuff Pack. I use that stuff pack so much for landscaping, by the way, so definitely recommend, if you like to landscape, go crazy with Romantic Garden Stuff Pack, because I use it so much. So the irises are the only flowers in the landscaping that have color on them, and I used them in the pink swatch because I needed to kind of tie in the landscaping around the house with the flower boxes on the house, and the flowers in the flower boxes are pink, so there you go. They kind of tie together, or they kind of make it a little bit more coherent. Hopefully you get what I mean. So anyways, other than that, just a lot of green and also white flowers. And then in the middle of this little pathway, I tried to, where I put the fountain, by the way, I tried to use the fountain tool to put in this little insert of water, but I figured it looked a little bit strange. Like once I'd already done it and I was looking at it, it just kind of looked a little bit out of place, so I decided to put in a fountain instead, and then I spiced it up with some plants around it too, so it looks nice right there in the middle. And yeah, it's been a while since I've used a fountain, I think, in front of a house. I kind of like to use them in my landscaping now and then, especially with like bigger, more extravagant houses. I think it looks really nice, especially in the front yard. Sometimes I've done it in the backyard too, but I like to place them like in the middle of a pathway when you walk up to the house. I think it looks very luxurious to have your own like fountain in your front yard. So I decided to put that there, and this is basically what the landscaping is gonna look like, both here at the front but also at the back. I think I'm actually using a little bit more grass at the back in some places because I'm actually building a tree house. So I like how that tree house turned out, by the way. I have built a tree house once before. It was in my actual dream house, I think it's called, my 30k special, which is a while ago by now. I think it was in January or something. So yeah, I've done a tree house before, and I just really felt like building another one because they have 2 children and also a toddler, so I figured it would kind of fit the family if they had a tree house in the backyard. So yeah, it turned out really cute. I hope you guys will like that one too. But other than that, the landscaping is actually quite simple. I just put some trees here and there. I didn't want to overdo it because I feel like there was a lot going on with this house already. So you also see here on the left side where the kind of like driveway is to the garage, I framed it up with one of these low fences. No idea what those are called. But I did that in my rustic family home last week as well. Was that last weekend, I think? And I really like how that looked. I just didn't want to do it for the whole yard this time. I just kind of wanted to just frame up the driveway to the garage. So I put that over there, and other than that, the landscaping is actually quite simple. So the front door is actually supposed to be the door on the right side. They do have a smaller hallway though when you enter that door compared to the other door, but it just fit the floor plan better to do it that way. So they have an office right at the left side when they enter the front door, and then on the right side there's a bathroom. If you go a little bit further and go to the right, there is another hallway, and then that's where I also put the laundry room or the laundry area, because it's actually not in its own separate room. You'll see it in a little bit. I kind of frame it up just a little bit, you'll see. So if you walk forward instead, you'll enter the kitchen and also the dining room, and if you walk left instead, you get the opportunity to choose either between the living room or a home gym, because I just really felt like putting a home gym in this house. Don't ask me why. I don't really have a background story for the family this time. I just kind of have a feeling of who they are, but if that makes any sense, like what interests they have, but I don't really have like a set background story for them. I was just really feeling like making a home gym because I have gym on my mind. So yeah, I went for it. You could have put in a hobby room in there instead if you want to, or maybe an indoors pool or something like that, but I just went for the home gym instead of having 2 living rooms, because I used to do that actually. I used to put more of like a formal living room and then more of a casual living room. Sometimes I would put TV in one living room and then they'd have a fireplace in the other one, but I kind of swayed away from that again, because what's the point in having 2 living rooms in your house, especially when you're playing The Sims? I don't know. Do your Sims enjoy having 2 living rooms? Don't fully know. Technically you can only use one at a time. So yeah, I've kind of swayed away from that again, and now I use the other area for either hobby rooms or music rooms or home gyms or indoors pools, but this time we're making a home gym. So yeah, I also used mainly archways through the bottom floor at least, just because I wanted to keep it a little bit more open instead of using doors that would close off everything. So there is a double door to the living room and also one to the home gym, just because it made more sense to me to have it that way, because there's a TV in the living room and you don't want the sound going through the house. And also with the home gym, you kind of want everything that's got to do with the gym to stay in the gym. So I put a door to that room as well. But other than that, also the office is closed off by a door, but other than that, I was really trying to keep it more open on the bottom floor. So from hallway to hallway, you'll see archways, and also to the kitchen. Hopefully this is making sense. I'm just trying to like share my thought process when it comes to those choices with you guys, but I don't know if it's actually making sense to you, but hopefully it does. So anyways, I do keep getting questions about that red shelf, like every single video. It's linked in the description down below. Like you just scroll down and then it says something stupid like awesome clutter shelf or something, but I figured I'd rather call it that because you can see what I'm using it for. I'm using it to place clutter, so it would make more sense that I called it awesome clutter shelf rather than its actual name, and you'd look at it and be like, what the heck is that? So yeah, it's linked in the description down below. It's basically just the CC item that I use to place clutter. It has a lot of slots on it, so you can place a lot of things on it at once, and then you can just raise the shelf up and down and decide what height the clutter has to be at, and then you just drag the clutter off the shelf and it'll be stuck at that height as long as you don't snap it onto a table or a counter or whatever else you can snap an item onto. And you can just place it wherever you want. So you can place it on couches or sized down tables as well, or ottomans or chairs or counters, shelves, all these different kinds of things. It's really handy if you like to clutter, so I definitely recommend it, but it's linked down below. So now I've said it. It's linked down below. Awesome Clutter Shelf is what it's called. So yeah, that's what I use it for. It's funny because I feel like I explain that item so many times in my videos, but I keep getting questions about it every time I don't. So I figured I'd just refresh everyone's memories, or in case you are new, now you know as well. So yeah. And then also one more thing, because on my last video someone asked me how I move things around freely, and I just hold down Alt. I don't know the hotkeys for console, so PS4 or Xbox. I only know them for PC. Don't know them for Mac either, but I'm assuming they're somewhat the same as on PC. But on PC you just hold down Alt and you can move a chair around freely without it snapping onto the grid. It won't work with clutter and tables. You'll still have to use some kind of handy trick to move things around freely when it comes to that kind of stuff. But when it comes to the grid, you just hold down Alt, and then chairs or bookcases or tables, rugs, and whatever else you want to decorate with won't snap onto the grid. So I use that all the time. I basically don't place anything down without holding Alt down, by the way. Because I don't like when it snaps onto the grid, so I constantly hold Alt down when I build. It's very handy, but yeah, if you were curious, if you were wondering, or you asked on one of my last videos, and now you know, you just hold Alt down. If you want to know the hotkeys for build by and you play on console, I suggest you either go to Carl's Guide to Sims 4 and look around his page, because I'm sure he has a list of the hotkeys somewhere on his website, or you can just Google build hotkeys for console Sims 4 and you'll probably get a list from some kind of website. So Google is always very, very helpful. But I used Carl's Guide to Sims 4 quite a lot when I just started out building, because he has the cheats and stuff on there too. So all the different profession cheats, or that was without using mods, by the way. You can still change the different professions by typing and stuff. So I used to do that quite a lot, but yeah, he has everything written on there, so definitely recommend you go check out his website if you are wondering about hotkeys and stuff. I did get a suggestion from someone if I could do a tutorial on build by hotkeys and like tricks and stuff that I do, and I really want to do that. I just need the time. Right now I am quite busy. I'm basically just recording the day before and then editing on the day of upload, and I hate doing that. I like being ahead of schedule. So yeah, I need to get on that a little bit before I start planning like longer videos that require planning and stuff. So yeah, but I definitely want to do a video like that because I know that it'll help a lot of you guys. So yeah, it will be coming at some point. And this is the only bathroom that I'm showing you guys, by the way. Every single other bathroom will look somewhat like this. I actually just recalled I forgot to put in I remembered the bathtub, but this time I remembered forgot the potty. I always forget either of those, like, always. I'll either forget to put in a bathtub for the toddler or the dog, or I'll forget to put in a potty for the toddler. Always, and this time I forgot the potty, so I'll have to remember to place that down before I upload it to the gallery. I swear it's every single time. I'll forget something every single time. So yeah, I need to remember to do that. But that was the only bathroom that I'm showing you guys. Every other bathroom looks very much like that one. Same items, same color scheme, almost the same clutter as well, I think. So I am only showing you guys that one bathroom. But in here we got the little laundry area, and it's not in its own room, but at the same time it's sorta in its own room. Does that make any sense? No, not really, but hopefully you get what I mean. It's kind of closed off but still open. Still doesn't make any sense, but I really wanted to place a laundry room in this house because it's just a big house, and I figured it would fit the whole vibe of the house too, since I'm already using quite a lot of stuff from laundry day as well. So I put it as sort of an extension of one of the hallways, so it's open like that, and the door in that hallway leads to the backyard. So I don't know, it feels very realistic to me for some reason. I can imagine like a bigger house having a laundry area by the back door, kind of. So yeah, I decided to put it there. And in here we got the parents' bedroom. By the way, the color scheme for the house and like the whole interior, was mainly white and light blue for the furniture itself, like fabrics and stuff, and then for wood colors we're using mainly white and possibly also a little bit of beige or light brown wood colors as well, just because I wanted to keep everything sort of a little bit like beachy, a little bit coastal, a little bit bright, very open. I just figured it would fit the exterior of the house, also considering the exterior is basically the same color scheme, so I definitely wanted to bring that inside. And we're continuing that in this room. However, the other children's bedrooms will have their own little thing going on. So the teens room will have a little bit of mint in there and a little bit of pink, and then one of the children's rooms is a little bit more blue and yellow. The other one is definitely beige, and then I don't remember the toddler one. I think possibly mint or turquoise or something like that, possibly. So yeah, they all have their own little color scheme going on, but I still feel like it fits the whole bright theme that we're going for throughout this house, so definitely wanted to take that into consideration when doing the interior. So yeah. Also, by the way, I have cut out all the hallways from this video, so you won't be seeing them. I will have furnished them in the uploaded version. Don't worry, I've actually already furnished them, so in the uploaded version that'll be on the gallery, they are furnished. I just cut them out from the video because I thought they were a little bit boring. It's just hallways, there's not a whole lot going on in there. Basically just bookcases and racks and what else we got? Some paintings and hallway tables and stuff like that, so I didn't really think it would be the most interesting stuff to watch, so I cut them out of the video to avoid the video being like 40 minutes long or something like that, but they will be furnished in the uploaded version. Don't worry about that. I just figured I would mention it in case you were curious. But anyways, in here we got the teens room, and I definitely feel like this has a slight girlish vibe to it. This girl is very into books. I decided to give her her own little reading corner over here by the under the windows. You can see where I put the My First Pet Stuff Pack couch. I kind of wanted her to have her own reading corner there. I've always wanted like my own little reading corner in a window, so it's super comfortable to sit in the window and read a book while maybe drinking a cup of hot chocolate and looking out the window or something like that. I've always wanted an area like that, so I figured she would want an area like that, so you could just sit and chill in that little reading corner and cozy up on the couch or something. In my old apartment, I actually used to have a pretty big windowsill, so I could sit in the window and look at the backyard while reading a book and enjoying looking at the rain or whatever. So I did that sometimes, and the windowsill wasn't really made for it, but it was quite a big windowsill, so I could still manage to sit on there despite me being a freaking giant. But anyways, I kind of missed that windowsill a little bit. It was really nice to just sit up there and just like relax and chill. And sometimes, because we used to have a there used to be a festival in my, or there still is, but it was pretty close to where I used to live, and during the summer, during the festival, I could actually open the window and hear the music. So I used to do that too and just sit there and just enjoy it at home, you know. It was really, really nice. So I was really inspired by my memories of that windowsill, and I wanted her to have her own little cozy reading corner like that. So yeah. Anyways, this is the first of the two children's bedrooms, and this is the more blue and yellow one, as you can probably see right now. I don't know if it's for a boy or a girl. I feel like both of the children's rooms are quite non-gender specific. You could have either a girl or a boy living in here, but the first one was definitely more inspired by the sky with both the bed and also the wallpaper. I was really thinking about that. I thought it would be really cute. And then in here we got a little bit more of a like a warmer theme going on. It's very beige in here with the light wood colors, and I think the walls turn out to be this peachy color, but I don't fully remember. So this could possibly be more for a girl and the other one possibly more for a boy, but I feel like both of them are pretty non-gender specific in my opinion at least. So they're just like children's rooms basically, but definitely going for more of a beigeier kind of warmer theme in here. I love those dogs and cat plushies, by the way. I've talked about that before, but I think they're so adorable. I use them so much as well because I just love them. Could you imagine like as a kid having a big plushie like that and it's just like this big cuddly dog? I wish that was me. I actually used to have a big, like a huge, what was it? It was a bear, and we called it Henhunbyan, which means he/she bear, because we didn't know if it was a female or a male bear. It was a plushie, obviously, so it didn't really have a gender, but you know what I mean. So I used to have like it was big, like it was huge, and I had trouble carrying it as a kid, but it was loved big time. So every time I see one of these big plushies, I'm like, oh, he/she bear. But yeah, I don't know, they just remind me of him, her, whatever. So yeah. Anyways, in here we got the toddler's bedroom, and I was definitely going for more of like pastel-y colors in here. So it's mainly turquoise, I think. I think the walls turn out to be turquoise as well, if I'm not mistaken. I think I go for the same wallpaper as I did in the two children's rooms. So it's from Parenthood, by the way. I do realize I used quite a lot of stuff on my first pet stuff pack. Someone commented on that the other day, and I was like, I don't care. I paid for that pack and I actually kind of like some of the stuff. I don't ever use the hamster because I think it takes up so much space, or the critter or whatever it is. I think it takes up so much space, so I only use it on very rare occasions at this point. I have used it a couple of times, but like I said, not very often. But I use a lot of the other stuff quite a lot. So the pictures there that you saw on the wall are from my first pet stuff pack. The height thing as well, the height measurement sticker wall thing you can use. I don't know what those are called in English. But I use those every single build because they fit into children's rooms so well, so I use those quite a lot. And also the blinds, I use those all the time as well. At this point, I don't even know how to make bathrooms without the blinds, to be honest, because none of the other blinds fit well in bathrooms, so I just use the My First Pet Stuff Pack ones over and over and over. Don't come for me. Anyways, I was just reminded because Sim Guru Lindsay, that's how you pronounce her name, I hope so. She wrote these things on Twitter, or she tweeted out what stuff packs were the most popular within the first year after their release. And I think My First Pet Stuff Pack was number 4, which is quite insane considering how much hate it got. But honestly, I use it quite a lot, so it doesn't surprise me. It has some very useful items in it. I just wasn't really a big fan of how it was released. But that was basically it. I was just reminded because of those tweets. But anyways, here for the backyard, I ended up putting in a pool and also a gazebo with a grill area in it, of course. And then, as I said earlier in the video, they also have this little tree house right here. And I just had this little corner that was empty, and I thought about it for a second. I was like, either I'm gonna put in a sandbox with a pirate ship in there like I usually do, or we're gonna do something new and fancy or possibly something that you don't do very often. So I decided to make a tree house because I've only done that once before, and they have quite a lot of kids in this house. 2 kids and also 1 toddler that could possibly also use this tree house. So I figured it would be perfect for this little family, and this little big family actually. They have 4 kids, it's not a small family. So yeah, I decided to put in a tree house for them, and it's very simple, by the way. The way you make these tree houses, or just levitating houses overall, is you put a box on the ground, and then you put a box on top of that box, and you delete the bottom box, and then you got a levitating house of some sort, as you saw before. It's super simple. It's also really handy to do if you want to play around with terrain tools underneath houses and you don't want to deal with the foundation. You can do it that way too. I have done that before with houses, and I will be doing it again in the future. But yeah, it's a very handy little trick in case you want to build a tree house. I like, since they introduced the terrain tools, you can now lower the tree house just a little bit. You could make them before the same way, but after they introduced the terrain tools, you can change the foundation height of individual or like separate buildings. So you can lower the treehouse just a little bit so the staircase up to the treehouse won't be insanely long, and I really like that. So I just lowered it a little bit so it's easier to get up there, and also so the staircase didn't take up way too much space. But yeah, in case you were wondering how I did that, it's very simple. You just place a box on the ground, place a box on top of that box, and then you delete the bottom box and you just build from there. So super simple, very handy trick if you want to play around with tree houses or terrain tools or anything like that. So yeah, and other than that, I think I am just fixing up some landscaping around the house. We use the same flowers and plants as we did in the front yard, and I also put in a swing for the kids too. Hopefully that swing will be usable for because sometimes I have a tendency to put the swing a little bit too close to fencing or another tree or some plants, and your Sims won't be able to push the Sim that's on the swing. But hopefully that one should be usable. I only playtest with one Sim, so I can't actually playtest it after building the house. Unfortunately, it's not the smartest of me, but I've been using this playtester Sim for 1.5 years or something like that, or possibly at least a year. So I'm not giving up on her. She's still my playtester Sim. Her name is Faye Daniels, by the way, in case you were wondering. The girl in the blue dress is called Faye. Now you know. But yeah, so hopefully that swing will be usable, and other than that, I am just putting some furniture here and there on the patio and also the front terrace and all those other places. That's what you meant to say, yes? And that should be about it. So if you like this build, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. Let me know what other builds you want to see here on the channel in the comment section down below, and also let me know if you liked this house or not. And yeah, other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye!